Welcome to the Feed Your Spirit podcast. I'm your host, Jill Dobrowanski. At Feed Your Spirit, I share stories of hope and encouragement through the lens of the gospel. However, over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be sharing extra episodes to showcase small business owners who have products or offer services that I love in addition to my normal episodes. I am so excited to be able to share this with you as we prepare for the upcoming holiday seasons, or to just treat ourselves with some very much needed TLC. So join me as I get to know the owners and learn more about their products and services. Oh, and there just might be some surprise giveaways and discount codes. So make sure you listen to the end of the show and be sure to check the show notes for all the links you will need to celebrate and support small businesses and to follow all things Feed Your Spirit. On today's show, I'm joined by Andrea Worley, owner of Ampersand Style and Home, a shop that carries boutique clothing, home decor, and personally designed items by Andrea herself. I personally love the signature Gold Rush hoops. They are definitely going to be on my list to give this year, and I can't wait for you to hear the story behind it. So let's plug in and let's go shopping. All right. So, Andrea, thank you so much for joining the show today. I'm very excited about our small business celebration in which we're going to be highlighting women who run small businesses throughout the country and kind of what they offer and everything that they do. So thank you so much for joining me.
Of course. Thank you for having me. It's good to be here.
All right. So why don't we just dive right in? Why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself and then a little bit about your business?
Well, my name is Andrea Worley, and I am a wife and a wife of 13 years, and I'm a mom of two. I have a son who is my youngest. He's 7, soon to be 8. And then my daughter is 10. She turned the big double digits this year. And we just recently, about back in May, relocated our family from Phoenix to central Iowa. We lived in Phoenix for about 11 years. And so it's really all that we've ever known. I did grow up in Iowa, so I'm very familiar with this state, but we decided to move a little bit closer to family. And so here we are, lots of changes this year. So yeah, that's a little, and I started a business, among other things. So just lots of things, 2020, it's quite a year.
Oh, my goodness. And first of all, I love the name of your business. It's Ampersand Style and Home,
Yes.
Which is, great. So why don't you tell me a little bit about what you do? And then we're going to dig into the name in a little bit.
Sure. Yes. So as you mentioned, my little shop is called Ampersand Style and Home, and we offer it's an online women's clothing boutique, and then we have home decor, and then we also have t-shirts. So the boutique clothing is all wholesale, and then the home decor, a lot of it is wholesale as well that I source and buy. And then the t-shirts and coffee mugs and a couple of the art prints, those are all specifically designed by myself for the shop. So those are a few things that we offer.
That's wonderful. And have you always been creative, or that you love to create and design and had some type of eye for that artistic flair?
Yeah, I have. I first started out years ago as a photographer. When my husband and I were newly married, I had a photography business up until the point where I had my first child, and then just navigating being a new mom. And at that time, we had actually moved from Minnesota to Arizona. And so there's just a lot of change. And so I put my photography business kind of to the back burner. It just wasn't something that I was in the season to keep pursuing. And so over the years, I've always kind of flexed my creative muscles, if you will, through writing and photography and just little side things here and there. My husband will tell you I'm always kind of creating. And so, yeah.
That's great. And when did God put the calling on your heart to say, you know what? Personal style and home is where I need you to be right now?
That little dream started in my heart years and years ago. I've always loved home decor and figuring out my own home and my own like personal style, whether clothing or, decorating my home on a budget and being creative that way. And the dream to have a shop, a boutique for women, that was kind of the idea behind Ampersand, is to be that kind of one-stop place where you can shop for yourself, or you could shop for the women in your life, a gift for your mom or your sister or your best friend, but you could also shop for yourself and fill your home and your life with things that you love. And so that dream happened a long time ago. I can kind of reference this back to a Pinterest board that I made about 7 years ago. I made it private. I didn't want anyone to see it. I just started dreaming and pinning ideas and writing in my journal and taking a lot of notes. And it really started to become more of at the forefront of my mind. I worked as a retail supervisor for a ready-to-wear brand for about 2 years. And I really took that opportunity. I worked a lot of retail through college, so I had a retail background. But then when I worked these last couple of years as a retail supervisor, I really took that opportunity to learn as much as I could from the retail world kind of now versus what I had already learned in college. And so it was a really good experience. And then when COVID hit and we moved, I wasn't able to transition to the job that I had wanted. And God just really started to press on my heart this boutique and this business. And over the years, it's just never felt like the right season. And I really felt like in this current season of my life, the Lord just telling me, okay, now is the time. And so I haven't always, but I have grown in this area of just going for it and learning to make mistakes along the way. And that's how you learn. But I never want to have any regrets. And so I prayed about it and got some things in order and talked to my husband, and my friends were a good sounding board, and just kind of worked out all these ideas and thoughts and just went for it.
I love it. That speaks so much to kind of the season that a lot of us are in now, where that, we've had this calling on our heart for years, and now we've been given, although it's under, some stressful times, we've been given the beautiful gift of time. And what are you going to do with it? And how are you going to create with it? And so it's exciting to see that you are actually finally in the right place to be able to answer that calling. So tell me a little bit about the name, because I have to say myself, when I first saw it, I was like, okay. And then I was like, okay, I get the ampersand because I'm a writer and, style and home. So, How did you come up with the name?
Right. I love that you mentioned about the writing, because I write a lot too. I'm a freelance writer and blogger. That's another side thing to the thing. But the ampersand, as you know, in the English language is a connector of words and phrases. And so as I started that just kind of always has been a symbol for me of connection. And so as I started to think about what I wanted the shop to be, what kind of like the long-term goals and the dreams that I had for ampersand, that name just kept coming back to me, ampersand, because it's a joiner, it's a connector. And as much as the ampersand is a connector of words and phrases, I wanted the ampersand. I wanted when people see that in the shop for them to see it as a connector of women to each other and to the Lord and to community. And so me and my family, we have big dreams, and I have a lot of really big dreams and goals for ampersand. We're on a mission to give back. Earlier this spring, I designed a t-shirt and we raised money for a local food bank there in Phoenix. And I really wanted people, when they come to ampersand, to shop, to know that we're giving back. A portion of the proceeds are tithed. We pick local charities to partner with and to give back to. I have a really big dream of mine to eventually establish a scholarship foundation for young women, and for ampersand to be the funnel of financial funds to that scholarship foundation. So there's a lot to come in the future, but the reason I named it Ampersand Style and Home was, number one, to connect the two things together so that people, when they came, they knew just from looking at the name what they were going to get from the shop, but to have an overall arching theme of community and connection to one another and to the Lord.
That's a beautiful, beautiful story and package. I love how, you connect it all together. And it's not just connecting two isolated ideas. It's really connecting this whole big project and big mission behind Ampersand.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
So tell me a little bit about some of the products that you do carry.
Okay. So we carry a line of what I would call boutique clothing. And it was really, really important for me having a retail background and working in retail and just also being a consumer myself. I shop a lot online. I have a few online boutiques that I love supporting and love shopping at. And then I've also shopped with some that were not so great, or just weren't a right fit for my style. And so I had a good education in fabrics and kind of what worked and what didn't work. And it was really important to me. And one of the values that was important to me when looking at boutique clothing, to find clothing that's made in the United States. And I'm sure that we all can, look through our closet and find things that are not made in the United States. And there's nothing wrong with that. But in thinking about the values that I wanted to have for the shop and the boutique clothing side of it, I really wanted to find wholesalers that offered a made in the USA product that I could then offer to my customers. So all of our boutique clothing is curated and handpicked by me, and it's all made in the United States. And that's something I've really pushed and made known to my customers and the people that follow on social media and follow online. So we offer a line of boutique clothing. And like I mentioned before, we also have t-shirts and coffee mugs and art prints that are all designed by me. I do all the graphics for that. And that is just a way for me to flex a creative muscle and, brain dump ideas and see the things that I would want to see on. I love graphic t-shirts. I'm wearing one today. I know you guys listening can't see that, but I love a good graphic tee. And so when thinking about this, I wanted the shop to really be a reflection of myself. And so people that know me personally can go there and say, yeah, like this is Andrea. And then those that don't know me can get just like a vibe and a feel. I really think personal style is just showing on the outside who you are on the inside, whether that's through the things you wear or how you decorate your home. Style says something about you. And so all the things in the shop are kind of picked with that thing in mind. I love a good black and white stripe. And so you will always see a black and white striped clothing item in the shop as just kind of a nod to myself and loving black and white stripes. I think they're timeless. And so we offer boutique clothing, t-shirts, art prints, and then we also do wholesale decor. I love curating the decor. I work with a lot of other small business owners and curate a line of home decor. And so like, for example, we just did some home decor in the shop that's made by a local person in Wisconsin. I ordered from them and I sell their items, for retail and buy from them wholesale. So it's really fun to be on that side of it as a shop owner, to be able to support other small businesses and buy from them at wholesale and then offer it to my customers and, get their names out as well and have a hub of just really beautiful, affordable things.
I love it. A couple of items that have actually made it to my wish list for this holiday season is the lace and camo top that's in your boutique. It is so feminine, even though it's in the traditional camouflage colors. I love that little pop of lace, and it is so pretty. And then, of course, something that I will be getting for not only myself, but to be giving out as gifts are your signature Gold Rush hoops.
Yes.
They are so pretty. They're it's timely where that's part of the in style right now, with being a piece of earrings being piece of statement jewelry, but yet it's also very feminine looking. And I just love the way that they look.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course, I mean, we're all in fashion right now with the graphic tees, and that along with your mugs that are very seasonal are very adorable.
Thank you. The Gold Rush Hoops is actually another partnership with one of my very best friends who's a talented jewelry designer. And she actually made those for myself, just for me. And I love them so much. And every time I wear them, I get so many compliments that I went to her and I said, okay, I know you made these, exclusively for myself, but can you make these for the shop? And she said yes, and she sourced all of the materials for them, and we did a collaboration. And so those are the side of the business things that I love and adore. And if I can share that with my customers and your listeners and let them know, like, these are not just items that are just, picked out on a website. There's just a lot of intention and curating that go behind a lot of the products that you'll find in Ampersand.
It's such a great backstory. And I feel so honored to be able to now know that, so that when I wear them and people ask me about them, I can say, well, let me tell you about them.
Yes.
And so I also know that you also flex your creative muscle in a podcast. So tell my listeners a little bit about that.
I started a podcast. It's been a little bit over a year. It's called the Flourish Together podcast. And the idea behind the Flourish Together podcast is to share stories of growth and change and how we flourish as we grow. And so the podcast was also another dream of mine that God put on my heart and that has come to fruition. And I love interviewing women and guests and just hearing their stories of how God has worked in their life, how they've grown, and the current season that they're flourishing in now.
Wonderful. And I know I've listened to a couple episodes on my morning runs, and it's a great way to connect and also to remind yourself that no matter what you're feeling or what season you're going through, that there is an opportunity for growth.
Yes.
So, do you have, are you specifically just online, or do you have a brick and mortar store also?
Right now, we're specifically online. The eventual dream is to have a brick and mortar store. But right now we're starting small and online. With having just moved, I knew that was going to be kind of the most natural segue, and to not put so much pressure on myself to try to find a location right away. So it's been good. We're all online. I ship orders from my home. It's just such a joy to wake up in the morning and, after I've done my other things and gotten my kids to school and different things, to check and pack orders and all of those things.
Wonderful. And so how can my listeners connect with first your shop?
You can find us on pretty much every social media platform at Ampersand Style and Home. And then you can go to Ampersand Style and Home, like through those links, and you can shop there.
And do visitors to your shop, do they have an option to send as a gift to a different address?
We do have gift cards available. And if you buy gifts, you can have them, in your shipping. You can just put where you want the shipping. There is a notes section when you are checking out. So if you want to write like, this is a gift, or any of those details, you certainly can write those. But we do offer gift cards that you can purchase in several different denominations to send to your friends if you want something, just kind of generic, but you want to send them a gift to pick out something on their own. There's definitely that option. We also offer free shipping on all of our boutique clothing items. So that's another just fun perk that I wanted to offer to our customers.
So how can people connect with you on social media again?
You can connect with me personally. You can find me at Andrea M. Worley. And then, like I said, you can find the shop at Ampersand Style and Home. Or if you go to any of those links, you can find within that page the other links that I'm talking about.
That's great. And all of these links are definitely going to be in the show notes. So people will be able to connect directly right to your shop and also your social media connections.
Perfect.
And I know that you just sent me an email about a special offer for listeners to Feed Your Spirit.
I did. If you guys check out the shop and you want to use the code SPIRIT, you'll get 15% off your total purchase. And so you just enter that code at the checkout where it says there's a little box that pops up. It says, discount code. Just enter the code SPIRIT, all caps, and you can get that 15% off for you and your listeners.
Thank you so much. That was so generous of you. And once again, that will also be in the show notes for my listeners. Well, Andrea, thank you so much for joining me today. I loved hearing about Ampersand, and I can't wait to see what you and your family and God are going to do for it in the future.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for letting me share a little bit about the shop today.
How great is Andrea? I personally love how Ampersand Style and Home are partnering with community organizations to create one-of-a-kind designs as a way to give back. All the links you heard about on today's episode can be found in the show notes with that special discount code for Feed Your Spirit listeners. As always, I thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with friends, family, and on your social media. Also, if you want to keep up with all things Feed Your Spirit, make sure you follow me, Jill Dobrowanski, on social media. Until next time, God bless, and don't forget to feed your spirit.